himself without any issue. This really affected Barrister, who started hating Glenn for always behaving as if they weren't equals, even though, in reality, both of them were heroes. He remembers that time in the forest when the 7 heroes were huddled around a campfire, wondering how the 4 remaining heroes would ever make it out of the battle alive. Glenn had claimed that Zell was a guy who'd already faced countless impossible odds, and yet somehow he always managed to come through victorious, and with a smile on his face, no less. Suddenly, someone asked, what will we even do if he actually wins this impossible battle too? Langra, ever the optimist, said Zell was a good friend, and he probably wouldn't tell the king that the rest of them were hiding in the forest like cowards. But Glenn wasn't so sure. We need to be prepared, he said grimly, just in case does make it out alive. While they sat in crisis, Zell was cutting down enemies left and right, making a beeline straight for the floating castle. The mage riders tried to stop him with spells, but Danny weaved through the attacks like a storm, and Zell slashed them down with his twin magical swords. Barrister finally spotted Zell flying directly toward him, and panicked. I'll blast him out of the sky, he shouted, firing up his mega cannon. But fortunately for Zell, Barrister's aim was about as reliable as a drunk man trying to piss in the pot. Elsaria, watching the chaos unfold, realized Barrister had completely lost it. Arm the battleship, she barked. We're taking down that damned castle. Her crew hesitated. Captain, are we really going to attack one of the country's own heroes? She turned to them, eyes blazing. I know what this means. This is treason, a crime against the crown, and my head's on the chopping block more than anyone else's. But her crew stood firm. We'll find a way out of it, one said. You'll take the heat. You're the noble, not us. She smiled bitterly. Then let my father's reputation take a hit. He raised me to fight injustice, and that's exactly what we're doing here. She turned, her voice like thunder. Arm the cannon, now! A massive sword-shaped cannon emerged from the battleship. Elsaria gave the final order. Fire! A colossal lightning beam tore through the sky, obliterating everything in its path and tearing into the floating castle. Barrister stood frozen. What the hell? He cried. They're firing at me! But I command this battleship. The betrayal shattered him. Tears streaming down his face, he screamed, Counterattack! Fire back! Damn it! The castle's artillery launched a lightning blast in return, but the battleship was too fast. It dodged the strike by inches. Meanwhile, Danny was struggling to stay clear of the blasts. Zell, I can't get out of the way? Zell turned to her, eyes sharp. Stick close to the wall. Climb the tower. Don't stop. She followed his command, and together they reached the upper tower where Barrister was hiding. The disgraced hero gasped, horrified, as Zell appeared outside his window. Danny, Zell shouted, get back! Come for me later. And without a second's hesitation, Zell leapt from the dragon, smashed through the window with his swords, and stormed into the stronghold. Barrister scrambled away, heart pounding, racing down the stairs. Why is he doing this? He muttered. He always helped me, and I killed him. I killed him. Meanwhile, Elsaria, unaware that Zell was still in the castle, ordered a second attack. The fortress shook violently. Zell peeked out of the tower window and saw chaos. Occupants were fleeing in panic, jumping into escape pods. But he wasn't done. I won't let him escape. Not again. He ran. Down below, soldiers were fighting, clawing their way toward the last safety pod. Just then, Barrister arrived, screaming, Move! Get out of the way! Let me in! Noticing who it is, the soldier kicks him away to the ground, even after realizing it's the hero himself. They don't care. They just leave him there. Alone. Like he's nothing. Meanwhile, Elsaria fires another devastating beam at the castle. The beam crashes down, obliterating most of it. As the dust settles, Barrister finds Zell standing in front of him. Suddenly, his life begins flashing before his eyes. He remembers his family were all businessmen, but him, he never had the brains for business. He was just strong, decently strong. So his father told him, become a soldier instead. He remembers that one day when he thought it was all over, he was about to die fighting an orc. And then, Zell saved him. Without hesitation, without asking why. Tears flood Barrister's eyes. This man, the one he betrayed 20 years ago, is the same hero who saved his life. Zell looks at him, stunned that Barrister recognized him. But by now, Barrister is shaking, crying in broken sentences, hallucinating. He's gone insane. Zell's expression hardens. He realizes what must be done, and with one swift slash, he ends it. Another hero of the Empire, gone. Zell stands alone, sword in hand, the wind howling through the rubble, wondering, what now? Suddenly, a massive ship descends, stopping in front of the shattered remains of the castle. From it steps one of the Empire's generals, someone who knew Zell before. He yells, "Zell, stop this madness!" But then he sees it. The blood. The corpse. Barrister is dead. The general stares, horrified. Zell killed not one, but two heroes, all on his own. Zell lowers his gaze. There are still 5 more, he says quietly. Suddenly, another figure walks down from the ship. It's Feast. He strolls up to Zell with an irritating calm. "I don't care about Barrister," he shrugs. "Honestly? Good for me. The bounty on your head just skyrocketed." Zell narrows his eyes. He remembers this man. The one from the city. The one who helped deal with those thugs harassing P. Feast grins. Name's Feast, lowly knight under the great hero Glenn. He draws his sword, snapping into a stance that makes Zell flinch. That stance? Before Zell can even speak, Feast lunges. His strikes come down with full force, but Zell still has enough stamina to block, to deflect, to survive. The sound of clashing steel fills the air as Zell starts countering, pushing Feast back. Feast grits his teeth. He underestimated him. This isn't just some rebel. This is the hero killer. Zell drives him into a full-out fight, and Feast realizes he might actually lose. Their swords clash again and again, sparks flying, each hit more vicious than the last. Feast's eyes widen. You were trained by Master Glee too, weren't you?" Zell says nothing, but his eyes answer. Feast growls, charging with an overhand swing. Zell parries again, effortless. Feast skids back, laughing. "Man, you're strong, and you're still holding back! Come on, show me your real power! Pull out those magical swords from your ass already!" Zell sighs, preparing to speak, but suddenly Danny arrives. "Zell!" she cries, but the collapsing ruins force her to stay back. Feast scoffs. "I know about your Blackwing technique," he sneers. "A bunch of magical swords, right? I want that fight! Give me your full strength!" He raises his sword again. "I'm just a slave now, yeah, but if I take your head to the king, I'll be free. I'll get everything I've ever wanted. Instructor, gold, title, freedom." With that, he charges again, faster, more furious. But Zell still blocks, still deflects. Every move, perfect. Feast's hands begin to tremble. This man, he might have even surpassed Master Glee. The general watches in horror, helpless, as the tragedy unfolds before his eyes. The one once hailed as the strongest sword in the kingdom now clashes with a rising prodigy destined to inherit that very title. But instead of respecting each other's strength, they're trying to destroy each other. Feast screams, "Where did you learn to wield a sword like that?" But Zell stays silent, his lips sealed, his eyes unblinking. "Say something, damn you!" Feast growls, then launches forward with another attack. Zell stumbles back, his young, transformed body clearly straining. He knows he can't take much more. Feast narrows his eyes, realizing something's wrong. "You're holding back? If you won't fight me seriously, then I have no choice but to end you, right here and now." With that brutal proclamation, Feast channels all his energy to the tip of his blade, then explodes forward in a blur. His attack's too fast for the naked eye to track. Zell grits his teeth, barely managing to follow the onslaught, deflecting each strike, but he's being pushed back hard. He can't hold on forever. Feast finds a gap in Zell's defense and strikes with lightning precision. Zell gasps. He couldn't react in time. His armor shatters as he crashes to his knees. Feast turns away, unimpressed. That was a pathetic imitation of the Blackwing technique. You should have seen it coming from a mile away, Zell, or did you never really master it? Zell slowly rises, his sword shaking but still pointed forward. Feast raises an eyebrow, now looking bored. "Fine, one last attack. I'll end this joke of a fight." Zell smiles to himself. "Master Glee, you really did find another boy full of raw potential. But this fight, it ends now." The clouds shift, and moonlight pours over Zell's back, filling him with radiant strength. The general's eyes widen. "Feast, wait, But it's too late." Feast is already mid-strike, charging with everything he has. Zell dodges with surreal ease, his movements almost ghost-like. Then slash, Zell lands his Blackwing strike. Feast doesn't even get a moment to react. His sword shatters into shards, and wounds burst open across his body as he collapses. The general rushes to his side, heart pounding. "Feast, you're alive, thank the gods." Zell stands over him, calm yet resolute. You were right. In this body, the Blackwing was the only way to beat you. He stares into Feast's eyes. But I felt it, your hesitation. Once you let go of that, you'll be able to master Blackwing too. Suddenly, the castle begins to crumble. But just in time, Dany swoops down on her dragon, plucking Zell from the wreckage and soaring away. The general shakes Feast. Pull yourself together, man. But Feast just lies there, eyes wide, shattered, not from the pain, but the truth. Blackwing is a one-hit kill, yet I'm still alive? He spared me. He let me live. Back in the city, a minor noble tries to seize power amidst the chaos. His guards storm the gates, only to find a mercenary flag flying high with 4 swords, a tribute to Zell, their hero. The noble snarls, "Take that flag down! Surrender now!" That symbol represents a traitor, a killer of heroes. But the civilians stand firm. This flag belongs to the one who protected us. You call that a traitor? Furious, the noble sends in his mountain of a son, wielding a warhammer. Tear that flag down, and anyone in your way. The brute stomps toward the crowd, hammer raised. But before it can fall, slash! Zell appears out of nowhere, cleaving the hammer in half and smashing the man's armor apart in a single blow. The soldiers freeze, pale as ghosts. It's him, the man who fought an army alone. The noble shouts, "Move forward! Attack, all of you!" But his own son throws down his sword. No more. One by one, the troops scatter and flee in panic. The city erupts in cheers. The hero has returned. But Zell doesn't smile. He walks to the flagpole, stares at the fluttering banner, then draws his sword and cuts it down. He knows what comes next. Thanks for